Hello everyone, welcome to a video that I normally don't, I usually don't make these types of videos like that often, but I might do it more in the future. And you could even call this video a rant video, but I don't think I'm going to be yelling or swearing every 20 seconds. I'm going to try to be calm and collected as possible for myself and also for my fans. And actually, I think one of the reasons this video is also being made is because I don't really think I've actually seen a video like this yet on YouTube, or maybe I just simply have not actually typed it in myself. But and the thing is, this is really about something that I think a lot of fans probably are not aware of, and it would be understandable because the thing is, the only time you hear this thing is usually whenever the Truck Series and Xfinity Series, just those two series, go to Daytona and Talladega. This rule is called the no push rule, as many fans have to call it. I actually don't know if that's what NASCAR calls it or not, but that's sort of the most familiar name I hear about it. And I think it's basically the rule is how the thing is and this rule was implemented starting in 2014. Basically, in the Xfinity Series and Truck Series, if you push or I guess tandem for a certain period of time, it could be 10 seconds, it can be maybe over a minute or two, you will be penalized. And the thing is, the usual penalty will have to be if it's during a green flag pit stop. If it's during a green flag, you'll probably have to cut on pit road. Or if the caution is out, then you'll just go to the back of the field. And the thing is, this video is also being made because the thing is, as of this being uploaded, it wasn't the Campbell Truck Series race at Talladega, the 2015 Preds 250 just concluded. And the thing is, I'm just gonna sort of get out some of my frustration. So basically, what happened in that race was, on the second to last restart, we had Brian Keselowski and Eric Jones on the inside, Brandon Jones and Christopher Bell on the outside. Those were the top four. And the thing is, throughout most of the race, the bottom was just simply the way to go because it was the shortest way around. And so because of that, if you were going to make your move on the high side, you had to do it on pretty much shortly after the restart, and you definitely need some help. And the thing is, and that's what Brandon Jones and Christopher Bell did. The thing is, Christopher Bell was pushing Brandon Jones, and it stayed like that for pretty much almost the whole lap. And in the following lap, I think we had the big one, but then either just before the big one or shortly after the big one, and I saw this coming. Christopher Bell penalized, not Brandon Jones though. Even though those two were together. And the thing is, I don't want to be this person, but I think this is an example. And in fact, the commentators, Adam Alexander, Michael Waltrip, and Kevin Harvick also brought this up about previous situations, and I'll get into those situations in a moment. But I think this is just if you compare this to other events, it shows NASCAR's inconsistency. Because, for example, if you take the Xfinity race at Talladega earlier this year, back in May, in the closing laps of that race, it was a 4-car battle between Joey Logano, Chris Buescher, Elliott Sadler, and Austin Dillon. And the thing is, I think that especially on the final lap, two on the inside, two on the outside, they hooked together. And the thing is, they stayed like that for almost a full lap, and it was the final lap, so it was for the win. Logano wins the race, but neither of those 4 cars are penalized, even though, at least to me, it was very obvious that they were all they were all doing the 2-car tandems. And the thing is, in last year's truck race at Talladega, we had a situation where Joe Nemechek and Matt Crafton hooked together. And the thing is, both of those trucks were actually penalized, but in today's race, it was just Christopher Bell. And actually, I think today, just penalizing Christopher Bell and not Brandon Jones, I think that's actually something that I wanted to see, because the thing is, really, if you're the one that's being pushed, you really cannot help it. And the thing is, I don't know if you are exactly asking for the person to push you anyway, knowing that it could get you into trouble. So in that case, having just the pusher, and in this case Christopher Bell being penalized, I think that was actually probably the right thing to do, and I hope we can see more of that in the future. But the thing is, the fact that I just pointed out a couple moments that all had different situations once again shows the inconsistency. Will NASCAR be more inconsistent about this in the future? I have my doubts. But the thing is, overall, like the rule itself, like the no push rule, it's really, in my opinion, just like a stupid, but it's also a really confusing rule. Because the thing is, what do you exactly mean by like don't push, don't tandem, or thing is like how long can he push? Can he push for like 5 seconds? Can he push for 50 seconds? Like it's such a confusing rule. And the thing is, like really like if the rule is you cannot push, the thing is NASCAR might as well penalize like every single car, every single person who enters the Xfinity and truck races at the super speedways. Because the thing is, at some point, everyone's gonna hit someone, and the thing is that push is gonna help them get forward. And the thing is, like when you implement that rule, I think it really dulls up the races because then in that case, because you cannot tandem. Because the thing is, really, if you want to get to the front, you need some help. And the thing is, you're going to need to be pushed for a certain amount of period of time, and that's the way these Xfinity and truck cars are set up, aerodynamic wise. And so the thing is, because you need to push. That's how you get up to the front, and in the late stages of the race, that's how you win. And for example, like 2 years ago, the truckers at Talladega, Parker Kligerman needs some help, and thankfully Johnny Sauer was just behind him, and those two hooked together. And guess what? The caution came out. Parker Kligerman wins his first and so far only race in NASCAR, I believe. And the thing is, when I think about it, had NASCAR had a no push rule back then, Parker Kligerman or Johnny Sauer would not have finished in the positions they did. And the thing is, also the thing is, in the late stages of the race, in those races, like personally, I'm not someone who, I'd rather see pack racing than two car tandems. The thing is, I don't want to see pack racing where they literally cannot pass or we can't see any like charges to the front, because really having drivers go to the front and go to the back, and being able to do things like team up and work with other people, and to me that kind of stuff, in my opinion, is what makes for exciting races. And thing is, as an organization that recently I think has been we want to make the best show for our fans. The no push rule sort of gets in the way. And the thing is, I've heard some resources or I've read some resources say that NASCAR did this to prevent any violent wrecks. But the thing is, NASCAR might have a point, because the thing is, the year before the no push rule was implemented, Kyle Larson had a nasty wreck at Daytona in the Xfinity race, getting out into the catch fence on the final lap, coming to the checker flag. And then pretty much in a very similar situation in the truck race later that year at Talladega, Miguel Paludo goes upside down, and a couple drivers, I think a couple drivers are just sort of injured, like Justin Laughlin, Kyle Busch hit a wall with no safer barrier, and it was just simply a very nasty and violent wreck. The thing is, if NASCAR wants to avoid those violent wrecks, then they might as well not go to Daytona and Talladega in the first place. Because the thing is, whether it's two car tandems or whether it's pack racing, these wrecks, there's a chance these wrecks are going to happen anyway, regardless of what type of racing we have. And the thing is, Austin Dillon's nasty wreck where he flipped, where he went into the catch fence in this year's 4th of July the Daytona race, proves that it's not just tandems that lead to these nasty situations. It's just a product of Daytona and Talladega. And really, I'm trying to think of what else I'm going to say. I would like to see this rule go away, but I doubt NASCAR is going to do away with it. the thing is, if NASCAR does not want to create, the thing is, if they don't want these cars to push, I guess there may be other solutions. And the thing is, this was from a tweet, and I might have this tweet in the description below. Basically, I'm gonna read this. Move the radiator inlets up 6 inches like they did in Cup. Latch on and you overheat. That will prevent anyone from locking. And the thing is, or if you want to remove any chance of having tandems completely, change the redesign of the trucks and Xfinity cars, because the thing is that's not going to happen anytime soon as well, because of money reasons. It's very expensive to just change the setup. Or another alternative option, just allow them to push. And that might be the most realistic option we have. But it's just kind of I love NASCAR and I will continue to watch it, but it's just kind of frustrating to watch races with this rule in place. Especially if it often leads to inconsistent calls and many fans upset. But anyway, that's kind of all I really have to say. If you have any thoughts about this role as well, it may be cases like Christopher Bell's and penalty, etc. Feel free to leave your comments below. Please be as nice and respectful as you can. And that's kind of pretty much it. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and bye.